Yo, what is going on? My name is Sweet Phil. Today right here in this video, I'm bringing you my reaction, my opinion, my takes on news here about Diablo from Rykker. If you don't know who Rykker is, he's essentially a video game journalist here on YouTube. He makes absolutely amazing like weekly roundup news videos. So I'll put a link down in the description to the entire video. You see I'm starting kind of towards the end, and you see the tab I'm on right down there at the little bottom of the screen, and that is the Diablo section. Before this, there is a ton of different information and news about all different types of video games. If that interests you, I would implore you, go down in the description and follow that link after my video is over and check out the full video. Rykker's absolutely amazing. Give that guy a sub if by somehow chance you've heard of me and hadn't heard of him. So let's go ahead and get after it.
Onto Diablo news. A Japanese interview for Diablo 2 Resurrected has been making the rounds with some pretty extravagant claims. Posted on 4gamer.net, the interview, which took place on September 30th, suggests that the latter season will bring with it new rune words and bosses.
Now, the name of this video from Rykker starts off Blizzard busts rumors from Diablo 2 Resurrected interview. I mean, I've got to assume that that's what it's from. There is no way, in my opinion, with how trash the servers are, with all the issues they've been having with the queues and all this stuff, that they are even remotely thinking about making new rune words. I don't know how it got reported as new rune words or adding new stuff. We'll have to wait and see here, but I would have to say there's absolutely no way that is happening.
When asked to talk about future updates, design director Rob Gallerani allegedly said, quote, "The highest priority for our team right now is bug fixing and server stability. After that is done, we plan to start preparing for the season. The start date of the season is undecided as of now, but special rune words and strong monsters will make an appearance, so look forward to that. We also have ideas for non-season updates. We can't talk about the details, sorry. Please look forward to it."
See, I was thinking with it being a different language, it was a mistranslation, but that sounds so specific. The person doing the interview, how could they mistranslate that? I don't really know. Because that makes no sense.
So this sounded like a statement of fact that special rune words and
it sounded
strong
completely
monsters
definitive.
will come with the start of ladder. Something that was never stated in English language interviews.
That is an important point he makes there. Why would they go to some other market that doesn't speak English when I'm assuming the United States market is probably one of the biggest, or it's probably the biggest and most important? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to this point, but maybe we'll get some more clarity on that.
The most we got was the suggestion that maybe certain ideas were being entertained. Well, I didn't trust the Google Translate version of this interview, so
Me either.
I reached out for help in our Discord channel, and Raiders came to the rescue with...
Just FYI, his Rykker's Raiders is what he calls his channel supporters and stuff.
Multiple folks, including Japanese teachers and even official embassy translators, corroborating that there was no room for misinterpretation in the translation. 4gamer.net was saying that Gallerani said that we can look forward to special rune words
could there not be a translation
and strong
problem
monsters for the latter season. Now, that's what we knew for sure at this point. That this
Plus, how does he have official embassy translators in his? That's pretty wild, the connection there, huh?
This is what 4gamer is saying. That's what they understood. But Gallerani wasn't talking to them in Japanese, so there was still room for misunderstanding or mistranslation.
Their translator
because
messed up.
if 4gamer was right, this would be huge news. And I wanted to make sure, so I reached out to Blizzard, and they confirmed that there was a misunderstanding. The interviewer had apparently asked about new rune words, and Gallerani replied that ladder rune words were available on non-ladder, along with Uber Diablo and the Pandemonium event now being available non-ladder. And this seems to have been misinterpreted as new rune words and strong monsters, i.e. the Ubers. So, if you hear about this Japanese interview, just know it's a non-story, just a misunderstanding.
No new rune words, everybody.
And with the final nail in the coffin here, late on Friday, 4gamer updated their interview with the correction that I just specified.
Yeah, if you're putting out a correction yourself, that's definitive. We completely messed up. Yeah, that's got to be somebody. I mean, obviously the translator is not a Diablo 2 player that really would understand, but that's a pretty wild mistranslation and just misunderstanding there. But
In other D2R news, the end of last week saw the implementation of queues and rate limiting as a means of temporarily combating the server outages.
Disaster.
And frustrations immediately began mounting. Console players had it the worst. While queues were implemented server-side, the patch to implement them client-side hadn't rolled out yet. So, imagine a nightclub with a max occupancy. On PC, there was a bouncer at the door telling people outside to form an orderly line, and he'd be letting them in one by one in order. But on console, there was no bouncer. Just a bunch of people trying to squeeze their way through the door at the same time like a bunch of animals. So some lucky people got through quickly, while others could be trying to connect over and over and over, and it could take hours before they get in.
Man, console really got the short stick on this whole game, and I kind of understood it. I kind of figured that the console stuff, I don't know how they got it ready so fast, really even, but I just kind of always assumed since the game was originally made for PC that it would work better, and I couldn't imagine using a controller personally, but yeah, then their issues that they had. There's so many other things already with console, but now even with their queues or whatever, apparently I don't play on console, but you know, Rykker obviously knows all about everything. The queues are even worse than on PC because the queue's a disaster, and all the other stuff. So man, I feel bad for you console people out there.
And this is because Blizzard cannot patch console versions as quickly as the PC version.
Makes sense.
It's out of their hands. Microsoft and Sony have their certification processes when a patch is submitted. On PC, it's through Battle.net. Blizzard has full control. They can deploy a patch instantly. On Xbox, Microsoft has to approve the patch. On PlayStation, Sony has to approve it.
Yeah, I never thought of that.
The console patch ultimately did roll out this week, but aside from the queues, the rate limiting has also proven to be a point of frustration. Basically, the game limits how quickly you can try to join or create games in order to alleviate server strain, because the act of creating a game and destroying a game when you leave is strain on the servers. So now you generally have to wait about a minute between attempts at creating a game.
What an absolute disaster this is, by the way. The number of times when you just like, you go to join a game, like, oh, the guy didn't create the game yet. So you get that thing, and then you got to wait a full minute to be able to join or whatever it is. And then by the time you can eventually try to join, the game's full, and you lost your runs, and it's a disaster.
Now the problem is, well, what happens when you try to join a game, but you made a typo in the password?
Or that.
Wait a minute before typing it again. What if you create a game, but realize you picked your wrong character? You're on your mule instead of your main. Well, back out, wait a minute, try again. What if you try making a game, but, oh, a game with that name already exists? Wait a minute before trying again. What if you try joining a game, but it's full?
Yeah. Yep.
Wait a minute, try again. Honestly, this is my biggest complaint with the game right now. But it beats the alternative of just prolonged server downtime with no clear end in sight. And I just gotta remind myself that it's a temporary measure while they work on the bigger
Hopefully
fix.
temporary.
Now, Reddit mod Thunderclaw noticed that D2R is currently the second most popular game at Korean PC bongs, which has certainly been contributing to the server strain. PC bongs are basically LAN gaming centers, and they're very popular.
That's pretty wild. It's essentially like, sounds like a game, like just a what do you call it? A computer cafe or whatever they used to call them back in the day. That one game's at 50% up there or whatever, 44%. But it's crazy that Diablo 2 Resurrected is the second most popular as when it comes to that kind of stuff. So
popular in South Korea. And lastly, I just wanted to highlight that Fandom Games has made a parody honest game trailer for Diablo 2 Resurrected, and I love it.
As you plow through the game until your fun skeleton necromancer build becomes unsustainably awful, forcing you to go online to copy someone else's who actually understands the game mechanics.
Spot on.
Yeah,
Do
that's
give that a
funny.
watch, link in the description. And
I'll definitely probably be giving that one a watch in the future. Maybe make a little reaction video of that one in the future too. That actually sounds real funny. But yeah, thanks for checking out the video. Don't forget, check out the Rykker, the full video, if you want to get the full gaming news wrap up as he says it in his videos usually. Link down into the description. So thanks for checking out my video. Peace out, YouTube. Hopefully I catch you next video. Don't forget, keep slaying.